Hey, what is up, guys? Welcome to Elementa PQ Artistry. Alright, welcome back to my channel, guys. That's a joke by Jose on another tech blogger. So here I am today shooting a video, walk around video of the Interceptor. Before I go any further, I'm gonna request you guys to please subscribe to my channel, Keeping It Real with Reminiscences. I've noticed quite a few guys, quite a few of y'all are watching the videos, but 90% aren't going ahead and subscribing. So please do subscribe, like the videos if you do, give me feedback, drop a comment, and please share them with your friends and fam. And don't forget to subscribe, because Google Analytics, the way it works is it basically counts subscribers, and if I don't make the cut of around 500 subscribers, then this channel will not get the kind of views that I wanted to get. Alright, so quick walk around, and let me start with telling you a little bit about this bike. So this is a BS6 2020 model. It's called the Interceptor 650 Mark III. That's the paint scheme, which has been discontinued by Royal Enfield. I love black, as my wife will probably tell you. 3 of my bikes are black. The only exception is the X-Pulse, because it doesn't come in any other color, the Rally Edition. So this being a BS6, the only difference externally between the BS4, BS5 and the BS6 is these reflectors that you can see on the fork legs, and they bumped up the price by 10,000 for those 2 reflectors. It's also been kind of tuned differently, I guess, to meet emission norms. I bought this bike in Feb 2020, so this was purchased 2 months before COVID hit, and as you can imagine, after the lockdown, and with work from home, this hasn't been getting a lot of use. I've done a little close to like 10,000 kilometers on this bike. It's in pretty good nick. This is my highway motorcycle that the bike that I use for longer rides, and it serves me really well. As you can see, I've made some modifications to this bike, and I'm just gonna take you through them. So yeah, let me just start by giving you a walk around. Put this on the main stand, maybe that would look better. So very easy to put this bike on the main stand. This is a 200 plus kg bike. So the first mod that I did, I think, on this bike was the seat. Like you've probably seen in my other videos, I nursed a back injury, and the original stock seat is like a total flat seat, and it does not help with with managing with basically providing any kind of back support, because when you accelerate, you slide back in the seat, and when you deaccelerate, you lurch forward with the engine braking. So what I've basically done is I've made this kind of slope and a kind of butt stop. So when you accelerate, my butt stops here, and I sit like really close to the tank. So with my I can grab the tank with my knees, with my thighs, so I don't really get pushed in the front when I deaccelerate with the engine braking. So yeah, that's the first essential mod that you have to do with an Interceptor. The second mod that I did was I put on these handlebar risers. These are from Carbon Racing, if you can see, and yeah, and this windshield. So what happens is I put on these risers because the first ride that I did to a friend's place in Mysore, I I felt a lot of pain in my shoulders because the stock setup is, so imagine it sits here, right? This is where the handlebar sits versus where it's sitting now. These are angled handlebar risers. It would originally sit here, so you would be much closer to the tank, and over a long distance this definitely causes shoulder pain. So some ergonomic issues that needed to be fixed with the bike that I kind of sorted. So first being first being the seat, then the handlebar risers. I then got a USB charger and a mobile holder, so I could keep my phone charged and watch Google Maps as I venture out to explore the countryside. And then the windshield, the visor. So the ones that Royal Enfield sells are absolute crap. They have a short version and they've got a bigger version which is like 1 inch more. It doesn't provide any kind of wind protection or wind resistance. This is the second version of the carbon racing windshield. They had a previous version that this has improvements made over the previous version. You can see carbon racing branding there. Alright, so these are kind of essential mods that you would do on an Interceptor if you plan on riding long distance. I think it kind of completes the look of the bike. I used to like the naked look in the beginning. So one of the reasons that I bought this bike is because it's a twin. Obviously the value for money proposition is insane. I think this worked out to around 3.5 lakhs on road. And the only other twin cylinder motorcycle in India is the RD350. So this in terms of styling, in terms of engine configuration, is the closest that you could come to a modern day RD. Obviously it's a lot heavier and doesn't make it's more powerful, but it makes power differently. So yeah, so the seat, handlebar risers, visor. I then put on these fork guards. They call fork gaiters. They didn't come stock on my motorcycle. They come on they started putting them on the later versions. I didn't like the look of the skinny kind of stanchions, so I got them covered. Also provides some kind of protection against oil leaks and stuff like that. Then what else? Oh yeah, and when I did that, I also got the BS4 switchgear, so I can put the headlight off. You see, this is from the Classic, I think, from the Bullet or the Classic, but it kind of matches, right? The Interceptor by default comes with the it doesn't have a headlight switch, so this is blank. The headlight's on all the time by default, and that would drain your battery out. So if your battery is weak, you are going to have issues, right? So that I got the fork gaiters, and I got this done at the shop. I can't remember right now, but there's this big Enfield shop in JC Road, and they did it there for me pretty quick. And he's got a lot of parts. So with this, I didn't have to do any wire splicing because there was a coupler that sits straight in the headlight doom, and there was no wire splicing, so no voiding of warranty and all of that. Right, this has been the latest edition. This is the Fuel X. I'll come to that later. Right, so essential mods. Let's go with essential mods first, and I'm going with timeline. So I felt like having this was important. Then then the other most important mod. So if you can see the valve, it's like a big valve, right? So this is a tubeless setup. This is running a way to speed tubeless setup. I got in touch with Melvin, and this I felt was the most essential setup. So just today I had a flat when I was trying to move the bike out of the house, and I've got a Mi portable pump, which is again another essential must have if you have motorcycles and cars. And I just topped up, filled up air, and I went to the puncture shop and got this fixed. So if I did not have a tubeless setup, and if I had a puncture, that would mean no vlog could be shot today. I would have to spend at least 3 hours fixing it. So yeah, that's another essential mod. that you must do on an Interceptor. Obviously the new ones come now with you know, mag wheels, cast wheels. So yeah, and I'm lucky because this batch was sold with Pirellis. The batches after this were sold with Seats. So the Pirellis are actually tubeless. They used to sell them with a Seat tube inside, because these are spoke trims and they're not capable of holding tubeless. They need to be modified to hold tubeless tires in the actual sense. So yeah, Royal Enfield is now selling tubeless tires. They're selling the Vredesteins on the GT, and they're selling Seat as tubeless. The Seats were not available as tubeless for a long time. It's just been recent with the addition of the cast wheels on the Interceptor, and for that they're charging a good premium. So yeah. Alright, so what are the mods? Yeah, so then I got this tail rack from, I think this is from Zana. It comes with a backrest that I haven't put on because I don't usually take a pillion, and I think it messes up the look. I picked this up from a friend, Dikshit Timaya. We ride together at times, studied in the same school, good friends. What else? So yeah, and the most recent add-on has been these exhausts. These are from Powerage. I picked these up on Amazon. These are stainless steel. They come with baffles that can be removed. They sound great. I love the way they look. This is a brushed finish. You could also get them in polished chrome. I mean, not chrome, but just polished. I like the brush look better. And with that, I've also got an NGage. I'll have to take off the side panel, which I'm not going to do, but so it runs a hyperflow air filter from NGage with a stage 2 plate. So it eliminates the stock air filter, the paper air filter, and the snorkel. I had initially picked up this air filter from Scroll, which is a Pune based company with a German sounding name, off Amazon again, with the exhausts, and they turned out to be absolute crap. The build quality was like really rubbish. It broke on install at Race Dynamics when I went to get the FuelX Pro installed. So luckily Amazon, even though it was outside the return timeline, I picked it up in August and I returned it in September. The return timeline is usually maybe 2 weeks. Amazon thankfully agreed to take it back. I picked up that filter for around 2,800, and for that price, the filter quality, the build quality was just total rubbish. The mesh went through the silicone, and it's really flimsily built. Really bad finishing, really bad quality. I try and insert like some pictures. Let me see if I can do that. I've detailed this on a blog, on a post on Team BHP, so you could probably check that out as well. But yeah, those guys really need to get their act together. So I then went so when I went to install it at Race Dynamics, they told me we would feel more comfortable if you just like ran the stock filter than this crap, because we don't feel it's safe for you to ride with it. It's not going to do its job, and you might have problems in the future, and you might blame us. So we recommend you running the stock filter. So then what I did was I came back home and I saw they recommended NGage air filters, which are built by Motor Wings. They are based out of Tamil Nadu, I think Coimbatore or Chennai, and I would have gone with way to speed again, but then I wanted to install it immediately the next day, and I couldn't wait. And also because of the Race Dynamics recommendation, I went ahead with it, and for $200 more than the Scroll, the build quality is supreme. I mean, it looks just like the BMC air filter, and it's got the same kind of red plastic molding around it, and it's an oil filter. It's not a dry filter like way to speed. Personally, I think a dry filter would need more I don't know, I'm not really sure, but I think an oil based filter, while it would cost more to maintain because you need to clean it and oil it, I mean, the extra cost would be in the oiling and the cleaning detergent, and the oil refill, where you like soak the material again in oil. That's the extra cost, but that would I think that would work better in terms of filtration, because the oil would catch fine dust. A dry filter, on the other hand, would be able to would be able to filter dust based on the material. Like, so for example, the stock filter is a paper filter, right? And a paper filter would be able to filter dust and the elements and filter the air really well, but then it would be kind of like, use and throw. So you can use it for a certain amount of time, and then you'd have to throw it away. The weight to speed kit, I'm not really sure on the life span of it, but given that it's a dry filter, it uses some kind of nano fiber to hold, to catch the dust and the other kind of impurities in the air from getting sucked into the fueling, the fuel injection, the injectors, and then going into your engine. I don't know how long it would last. I think I was watching an Abhinav Bhatt video where he said that you need to clean it every 3,000 to 4,000 kilometers. But yeah, I mean, anyway, so I've gone with NGage, and I think it's a good deal. It's half the price of the BMC and the K&N. Those are about 6,000 or 7,000. Their stage 2 plate costs 2,500, 3,000 bucks, and the NGage stage 2 plate, which is made of stainless steel and is of very high quality, again costs 900 bucks. So vocal for local, yeah. Buy local stuff, make in India. I mean, obviously there's huge advantage in terms of price, and I hope it does a good job. The build quality, the packaging, and the reputation that Motor Wings has is like really good. So one mod that I forgot to tell you about is this. So this is an LED headlight. This is from Oxbeam. I had a friend from Team BHP who recommended this. This is again from Bike and Biker. The stock headlight is good. It is decent. It's an halogen bulb, but it's, if you're riding on a highway, on a dark highway, it's not really effective. I'd gone to Gagan Chuki Falls, which is like Shivan Samudra, one of the first hydroelectric plants in the country, and I'd gone through Kanakpura Road, and on the way back, luckily I had this headlight, and I'm not sure if I had it or if I got it installed after that, but yeah. So excuse me, I've got a bad cough and I'm still doing this, but yeah, I figured I'd just make the best use of Saturday. So that's one mod. Yeah, so I think I've covered most of these mods. Yeah, and I've got the saddle stays. I picked these up off Amazon. They're really cheap. Gear shift sock. What else? Recently got these plates. And yeah, and the other, and this is a Royal Enfield accessory. I would recommend these crash guards. They're really good, robust, and not too ugly. I don't like the Zana ones. Yeah, and so when you do these handlebar riser mods, you need to do some kind of rewiring. Oh yeah, and I didn't talk to you about the Fuel X. So I was still talking about the air filter, right? So with the Fuel X, that's an interesting story. So I got the Fuel X, I found the Fuel X on sale from a guy who had sold his Interceptor, interestingly. And yeah, in my previous video I spoke about a lot of Interceptor guys selling their bikes and picking up the KTM ADV 390. He's one of those dudes. So he sold his Interceptor, and he asked Race Dynamics if they could reprogram the Fuel X to work for his ADV, and they said no, you can't do that. So he put it up for sale, and it originally cost around 11,000, and Race Dynamics will charge you 900 bucks for install, so that works out to around 12k. I picked this up from him for 5k, and I spent like 900 bucks on the install, so it worked out to a little under 6k for me, and I think that's great. If you're running slip-on exhaust and an air filter, you must upgrade your fueling, because this bike is a lean burn kind of bike, and if you don't have extra fuel going in, you're going to wear out your engine really fast. So I've experimented with the settings, and I'll just show you how it works, right? So put this on, and you can see it blink. So that's, let me turn it off so you can count. So the number of blinks means will tell you at what level it is. I think I left it last on 7, and I haven't touched it after that. Okay, wait, let me. So every time you put the bike, oh, it's not okay. So let me, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8, and then a long one to confirm, right? So this is 8. I press the plus button, so it's gone on 8, but I keep it at 7. So 1 2 3 4 5 6 7, and a long green light. Yeah, so that's confirmed. That's 7. This is when I changed oil last. Oh yeah, and I'm running Motul 7100 fully synthetic 10W50, I think. Yep. So yeah, let me show you let me crank the bike now and give you a listen. Switch the headlight on. So here's how the headlight looks, right? It's a white light, and this is how it sounds. Sounds almost like stock at idle. Let me stand the back. So here's how it sounds. Give it a little throttle, and it like kind of barks. But yeah, I like it. It's not too soft, and it's not too loud. Yeah. What else did I want to talk to you about? Yeah, so I'm not running liquid gun, I'm running Motul. I'm pretty happy with it. This can run till about I think 6,000 7,000 kilometers. I've already got stock to change for my next oil change. And yeah, so issues, let me get to some issues that I have with this bike. So it's got electrical issues. I've faced some kind of electrical issues that just turned out to be grease in the relays, and kind of maybe the leads of the battery terminals that need to be sanded down. So I went to this place called Bengaluru Motorcycles. I was facing this for like close to 2 months. This is the time when I went and bought the X-Pulse, because I was getting frustrated with it every time I would ride with the headlight on. And that's why this was really important, because when the battery warning light would come on, I would switch off the headlight in the night and it would go away. But if I left it on, the bike would start missing and the battery would be getting drained. So I took it to those guys. I thought the rectifier was conked, because that's a common issue with this bike. Other issue would be the battery had served its life, because this battery is 3 years old. So this dude checked, this guy named Syed, very nice guy. He used a multimeter, he checked the battery, everything seemed fine. He then scrubbed the terminals, he cleaned out the relays, cleaned all the grease out of the relays. They put in white grease into the relays for some reason, Royal Enfield. So he cleaned it out with dielectric spray, and fitted it back, and he said, you're not going to have any problems anymore, and I truly haven't. So I wanted to get the electrical issues sorted out before I went to Race Dynamics and installed the Fuel X, because I didn't want to face any kind of issues there, or with this blowing up or something like that. So yeah, so I've heard of guys who've had to replace their rectifiers. So yesterday there was a guy on an Interceptor group who messaged saying that he's replaced 4 rectifiers in 18 months, which is like crazy. I'm sure he has some other problem and they're just replacing rectifiers. It doesn't make sense. So yeah, so other issue is the suspension. Suspension is like really soft. There's not too much of travel, and yeah, so you got to, there are options for the suspension. You have Way to Speed, who makes suspension kits for the front and springs for the rear. So I'm planning to get that done. I was supposed to get that done, but instead I went to the Fuel-X because I got the exhaust and the air filter, and I said, you know what, let's do all of that together first. And honestly, it's truly transformed the bike. I enjoy it a lot more now, and it's fast. I took it for a spin. We went for a ride to Kolar over the weekend, and that's last weekend, and it was amazing. I really enjoyed riding the bike. It was fast. I hit like about 150. This bike does more, but that was how much I was willing to push it to, and I felt that was good enough. The stock bike with the stock setup will do 100 easily, but anything more than that, and it takes time. With this setup, it just does it. It just breathes better, and it feels, it's de-restricted. So yeah, other mods that I'm planning, so suspension is one, and I also probably want to change the headers to Powerage. Those are called the big bow headers, and I think that would free up the bike a little more. Other than that, I think the build quality is really good. Royal Enfield has really upped their game, and this bike feels like it's built to last. There's a lot of metal on it. It's heavy, but yeah, it's a great bike. I really like it. It's a poor man's Triumph. Let's just call it that. That's how I refer to it. You can buy 3 Interceptors for the money of 1 Bonneville. So this is a poor man's Bonnie, and what a great job they've done on it, right? So Royal Enfield hired a bunch of guys from Triumph, ex-Triumph guys, who came in and designed this bike, and it shows. It's super value for money for 3.5 lakhs. Then I think I got it for 3.4. So the Mark 3 is the base version. They sold the Mark 3, which is black with the orange crush and the silver. So those were the base versions, and then you could get the Baker Express with the powder coated wheels. I didn't want powder coated wheels. The only bike that I have powder coated wheels on is the Express, because again the Rally comes with that. You don't have a choice. Problem with powder coated wheels is when they start chipping off, or when you got to do punctures, or if it's got to be taken off. The way those guys would handle those rims would lead to some scratches and the paint chipping off, and then it all starts flaking off and it looks really ugly. So I just preferred the bare metal look. That's the kind of look that I like. So that's what I got, and for that amount of money, it is really good value for money. It's something that in India only Indian manufacturers can give you that kind of value for money. That's what I think, especially in the automotive market, when it comes to, because that's how the taxation norms are, and that's how it works. Yeah, and this is a hit around the world. You have guys in Australia. There's this channel called Revelry Racing. Check them out on YouTube. They build like some crazy. They built a 950cc Interceptor stroker kit. They have an 850cc kit that they use from SNS, and they drag race this bike, and it's fast, man. This bike, so in the drag racing world, the RD350 used to be the king in India, for Indian motorcycles, motorcycles manufactured in India. But this bike will easily dethrone the RD350 in a drag kind of setup. Yeah, so this is the new king of Indian motorcycles. I mean, the 390, in my opinion, the 390 is probably a little too. Alright, so let me talk about why I didn't pick up a 390 over this. I didn't pick up a 390 over this because I didn't want something that was frantic, that was like razor sharp, and that had a lot of plastic, and that had a reputation for being unforgiving. I wanted something that was a little laid back, easy to live with, had a lot of torque, and had the same amount of power as the 390. Now obviously the 390 accelerates like a bat out of hell compared to this. You cannot compare 390 to this in terms of sheer performance. But now with the mods, I mean stock to stock, right? But now with the mods that I've done on the Interceptor, I think I can give a good fight to a 390. And it's got the comfort to take you and a pillion. So the only issue with the pillion is this kind of setup. It's really sharp. So if this was here and there are kits that move the rear foot peg there, this then becomes easy to take a pillion on. Pretty easy to tour with this bike too up. It's built to carry that kind of weight, and it's a sturdy bike. It's got a lot of space. You can put on a lot of luggage. And yeah, I really think that this is a great bike to do a lot of things. So yep, let's go for a short spin on it, take you on the ring road. I already shot a video there, but yeah, so this bike in the these inner roads with all the bumps and the speed breakers, and it's it's not enjoyable. It weighs a lot, and the suspension is really soft, so the suspension is going to be absorbing the weight of the bike first, and then my weight, and I weigh close to like 90 kgs. So yeah, that's around close to 300 kgs that it's got to hold, and that's not ideal for this suspension setup. But on the highway, it's amazing. So yeah, let's go on a ride.